And now it's time for The World's Gone Mad. Yes, the world went well and truly mad and crazy this week over a bunny rabbit, a game of football and some rather colourful pornographic lyrics. Yes, welcome to the bizarro world of Latino rap superstar Bad Bunny.
God bless America!
That was the wholesome part of the entertainment. The rest of Bad Bunny's performance consisted of sexually explicit rap songs sung in Spanish and colourful choreography. There was loads of crutch grinding, of course, including of the homosexual variety, which had plenty of viewers either switching off or switching over to the alternative Turning Point USA show, a far more family-friendly Christian affair deliberately staged by the organisation started by Charlie Kirk as a more wholesome alternative featuring MAGA rock stars like Kid Rock. Viewers therefore had a choice, an orgy of Bad Bunny smut in Spanish or a flamboyant Turning Point triumph of Trumpian values. Apparently, the ratings spoke louder than either of those performances, with one report that, quote, preliminary ratings numbers show viewers for Bad Bunny's halftime performance tanked, with Americans turning off the halftime segment in droves. Well, here's one of those Americans.
I'm like, who is this man? Golly! He can't sing. I mean, like, what is this? Golly! This is ridiculous.
Well, it's just as well she didn't understand the lyrics to what one wag described as Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican porno party, which included references to sexual practices that the Daily Mail described as sickening and pure degeneracy. Indeed, online there were plenty of translations of what was being sung.
She calls me if she needs me, but for now she's single.
And so on. You get the gist of it. I can't play the other bits. But many Hispanic viewers, some from very traditional Catholic communities, were unimpressed by the overt sexualization of their culture. But on the left-wing show The View, one delighted panelist described the whole performance as a micro-joy.
Micro-joys help us deal with macro-sadness. Yeah. I have had macro-sadness for over a year under Trump, seeing what he has done to my community and what he continues to do to my community. I am so grateful to Bad Bunny for having given me that micro-joy, and I will see that halftime show. I've seen it 5 times already.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
But Australia's Robert Irwin, son of Crocodile Man Steve, apparently he was there and he was happy to bop along to the music. That's the attitude elsewhere. One Bad Bunny fan was enraged when her local bar switched over at halftime to the alternative Turning Point show.
I asked the bartender, I'm like, so you guys aren't going to put on the halftime show? And she's like, no. Why? And she was like, oh, because the owner doesn't want any issues and they don't want to play it.
But of course, it was the online comedians who had the most fun. This woman preferred to mock all those white lefty women who have suddenly become Bad Bunny fans.
This is my impersonation of white liberal women right now. I don't know any Spanish, but I thought that the halftime show was so amazing. It was what the world needed.
But best of all, by a country mile, was Sean Farash, the brilliant Trump impersonator who did an amazing Trump doing Bad Bunny sketch.
I call him Bad Bunny. I call him the worst bunny. Think about it. And nobody knows bunnies quite like I do. I get along very well with many of the highly respected bunnies all around the world. I have a tremendous relationship with Bugs Bunny. He said to me, "What's up, Doc?" He said, "Sir, what's up, Doc, sir?" I get along very well with Roger Rabbit. And what happened to him was horrible, you know. They say, "Sir, who framed Roger Rabbit, sir?" I said, "It was probably the fake news and the Democrats. They frame everybody." We get along well with a lot of bunnies, but not the nasty rabbit known as Bad Bunny. He's a horrible person and a stupid person. El Conejo Desagradable, Bad Bunny, nasty rabbit. He hates our country and he has no talent.
He's so good, that guy. Be that as it may, here in Australia, Senator Jane Hume, the woman who today became Deputy Leader of the Liberal Party, was also, this week, on the lookout for bunnies.
Something has to change quickly. My message to my leaders is that if you have a rabbit in your hat, it's time to reach for that bunny.
Well, now she's the top bunny herself. It truly is a world gone mad. Joining me now is political commentator Stephanie Hamill. Stephanie, it's always great to see you. Thanks for coming on the show. Now, US Olympic figure skater Amber Glenn has come out saying that the American LGBT community is under threat due to the Trump administration. Have a listen.
It's been a hard time for the community overall under this administration. It isn't the first time that we've had to come together as a community and try and fight for our human rights. I hope I can use my platform and my voice throughout these games to try and encourage people to stay strong in these hard times.
Stephanie, you're going to have to help me out. What human rights does this particular individual feel are being violated?
Yeah, if you were to ask her to expand on that, she wouldn't be able to list any because nobody's human rights are being violated. And, I just have a question. I mean, can't they just shut up and win? Why does everything have to be so political? I mean, wokeism has ruined everything, including professional sports and the Olympics. The Olympics isn't a place to bring your personal protest to. I mean, it's just totally unprofessional and inappropriate. And notice that it's only woke U.S. athletes that do this. They use the world stage to bash their own country. I really can't think off of the top of my head of any other athletes from other countries where they do this. I just don't know why this is acceptable. And I have questions for their corporate sponsors. Are they okay with this? And this athlete isn't the only person who decided to bring out their personal protest. We also heard from U.S. skier Hunter Hess, who went on to say that, he only represents the parts of America that he agrees with, essentially, that I paraphrase that. But, it's just totally irresponsible of these athletes. They should focus on what they're good at. They should be, patriotic and love the country that they represent. And if they don't love the country that they're in, maybe find a new one.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to see her perhaps protesting about LGBTQ rights in Iran, for example, or pretty much anywhere in the Middle East. But anyway, I doubt we'll see that. Now, Stephanie, a bit of good news. Here is White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt sharing some wins from the Trump administration. As she points out, the media don't cover this stuff, so she is. Here we go. Have a listen.
There are a lot of wins in the news this week that people in this room have not asked about because you continue to ask questions about the same subject, so let me point them out for you. Again, on Friday, the Dow shattered 50,000 for the first time ever. This week, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons came out in opposition to gender mutilation surgeries for children.
So there was lots of good news. So, Stephanie, why do the US media focus so relentlessly on not reporting the good news?
I've been complaining about the mainstream media for many, many years now. It's like they all suffer from severe Trump derangement syndrome, those who work at the major networks and so many of the news outlets here in the U.S. It's like Trump broke their brains. They just never want to give credit where credit is due. Like if President Trump says that the sky is blue, they'll tell you that it's red. And so there's a reason why people are going to alternative sources for news. They are tired of being lied to over and over again. And I think it is so crucial what the White House press secretary is doing and what President Trump and his team are doing, which is trying to get the information directly to the people and talk about the policies that they're promoting, the policies that have passed, and how that's going to improve the lives of the American people. Look, it's going to take some time to undo all of the damage that was done during the Biden era and over so many decades of different administrations. I mean, this is a uniparty issue, not just Democrats are involved here. It's like some Republicans that have contributed to the mess that we're in. So President Trump and his team have had some of the greatest accomplishments just in the past year. Think about the border. It's like the most secure border we've ever had in history. There's been tax cuts. Our economy is doing better. So there are things to look forward to. But if you watch the mainstream media, you just think that it's just doom and gloom.
Exactly. Now, one thing which I want to get your opinion on is the US House of Representatives passed this massive election integrity bill earlier this week, which is, I'm one of those. I know I'm out there on my own, but I'm one of those who still raises a very quizzical eyebrow about the 2020 election, the US election. But anyway, the new bill is aimed at keeping non-citizens from voting in US federal elections, but the Democrats have attacked the bill, saying, I wonder why, saying it's voter suppression, they're calling it. One Democrat voted in favour, but the rest didn't. It shouldn't be controversial, should it, Stephanie, to only want, citizens to vote in an election? Is that bad?
Imagine being a Democrat today. Just put yourself in their shoes. These are the same people who wanted you to not only get a vaccine, force you to get a vaccine so that you could go to restaurants or even work, and then show an ID with that vaccine card. These are the same people who are now saying that an ID is racist when people ask you to show it to vote. This is what the SAVE Act is all about, making sure that non-citizens aren't voting in our elections. This is our most important civic duty, and I don't understand why we don't take it seriously. Look, if you need an ID to drive a car, to buy a bottle of booze, to buy cough syrup, then it's just, you're going to need that to vote too. And so their argument is so disingenuous, it's so dishonest, and it's embarrassing that they try to defend this. We need for people to show their IDs. It's not necessarily to make it harder, it's just to make sure that our ballot boxes are secure. And the Democrats over and over again are using their buzz phrases. This is Jim Crow 2.0. No, it's not. They know it's not. And if you look at the polling, like Pew Research shows that more than 80% of Americans support this. And then if you further look into the numbers, you'll see that minorities actually support this in great numbers. It was like 75% of Black Americans support it, 80% of Latinos support it. So the Democrats are I don't know why they're going on a limb here to support or to not support something that the majority of Americans support.
Well, I think the question answers itself, Stephanie, particularly when we look back at the 2020 election. Why on earth would the Democrats want honest voting, in my humble opinion? Stephanie, always great to chat to you, and we'll speak again soon. Thanks so much.